What's up, Titan Watch? Let's talk about the offseason signings for the NFC East and how this is one of the more interesting and more unique situations in the entirety of the NFL. All right, let's start with the Dallas Cowboys, or better yet known as the offseason bums, because Jerry Jones just absolutely refuses to do anything worthwhile when it comes to the offseason and signings. However, I will say they did sign defensive edge Dante Fowler Jr. for a 1 year and $8 million contract. And honestly, he's a great complement to Micah Parsons on the opposite side with his strength in stopping the run games to the outside. While he is lackluster in the pass rush, but that is Parsons' specialty, so I think at least that having that ability and that strength on one side is good. They also signed quarterback Joe Milton. This is a very interesting signing overall, but Joe is actually a very underestimated athlete. He doesn't have the best decision-making abilities for sure, but he is wildly athletic and he can reel. And if he can reel in his aggressiveness on his throws and up his decision-making ability, he actually, honestly, I think could contend with Dak for a starting role. Like I said, that is predicated on his decision-making abilities. Purely based on his athletic abilities, he could contend with Dak Prescott. However, as a backup, he could be effective in just keeping the tempo of the game if something were to happen to Dak and Dak were to get hurt. But really, that's anything of value that the Cowboys have done. All right, let's talk about the New York Giants and the team that's they've joked if Shedeur goes to, they're going to be having 45-minute prayer sessions before each game, which isn't a problem, of course. But you got Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. I'm just going to keep them in their own group. Russell was signed a one year, $10 million contract, while Jameis Winston was 2 years, $8 million contract. This is a good combo, honestly, to sign specifically for the duality of it and the potential to battle it out for the starting role, or to help foster a strong quarterback room for a potential rookie signee such as Shedeur Sanders. I don't know how this will play out and who will end up being the starter. Either one really could go back and forth. I think Russell has the upper hand right now. But when Jameis actually can focus and get locked in, he can be just as dangerous as Russell as well. So we'll have to wait and see. Paulson to Debo, 3 years, $54 million. This was a very strong acquisition to help an unhealthy and weaker secondary. Abito is a pretty fair cornerback in coverage, split between zone and man coverage, so that's going to be a very nice asset for the secondary for the Giants. Then you have Javon Holland, 3 years, $45 million. This is another decent acquisition for a weaker secondary. He provides excellent versatility in pass coverage and stepping down into the run game. And though the run stopping seems to be his strong suit, he is effective in man coverage situations as well. So I think this is definitely an upgrade to the secondary for the Giants. Our reigning Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles, only had 2 notes of significant signings, and that was just extending Saquon Barkley for 2 more years for $41.2 million. Nothing needs to be said about that. I think that's pretty obvious to even people who don't look at the ins and outs of football. Running back A.J. Dillon, he signed a 1-year deal. This one's kind of an interesting. He can easily be someone who gives Barkley rest time, and it keeps the same exact pace, and the game won't change much at all due to his strength and his ability to drive down the field. They call him, I think it's the Quad Father, and Saquon Barkley is called Saquads because they both have incredibly powerful leg strength and are able to drive forward. So they could easily use him in any situation that they could also use Saquon Barkley in, especially when it comes to strong run plays or dives or anything like that. All right, I'll say the Commanders, I got to give them one thing. They are making moves. First off, wide receiver Deebo Samuel. He was traded from the 49ers for a 5th-round pick, and this is a very interesting signing because I think Samuel was on his downward trend, but that doesn't mean he can't be effective and versatile in a high-power offense that's led by Jaden Daniels. He has a chance for a deep ball or a simple sweep, and it'll add a weapon for Daniels, especially when it comes to any kind of read option play or sweep option play. Debo is able to be utilized in any position, really, whether it's running and catching the ball or getting the ball handed off to him. And with the combination of Daniels being more mobile, unlike Brock Purdy with the 49ers, I think that he'll be able to be utilized as more of a true man of many talents and man of many trades on this team. Offensive tackle Laremy Tunsil. He was a trade with the Texans for a 3rd and 7th round pick in 2025. This is a significant upgrade at the left tackle position from Brandon Coleman. Tunsil is top 5 of all pass blockers as a tackle, and he's a top 25 in run blocking, which is far exceeding Coleman previously, which only facilitates more explosive plays and a higher tempo for the Commanders' offense this next season, and will give Jaden Daniels just that much more protection to be able to sit back in the pocket and be able to read downfield. Defensive tackle Jason Kinlaw, 3 years, $45 million. This is a pretty decent upgrade to a already pretty effective D-line as is. But nothing to write home about. This kind of gives the D-line more depth than anything else, but it does also add to their pass rush game as well. Strong safety Will Harris, 2 years, $8 million. He's a middle of the pack signing, and it will still look to boost the Commanders secondary as a whole, especially in the aspects of depth. But it's not anything to write home about as well. But again, any upgrade is better than no upgrade. I think there is a clear-cut winner in this group in the NFC East, and that is clearly the Commanders at number 1. They have made 2 incredible offensive moves and 2 pretty good defensive moves overall, and I think that has just already upgraded what was already a stellar team that made the playoffs last year, and it's just going to give Jaden Daniels that much more firepower this year. I will say probably the New York Giants are going to be next. Adding Abito and Holland to a weak secondary is very important. And Russell and Jameis, while they aren't necessarily prime quarterbacks, I will say are significant upgrades to what the Giants were already dealing with in the past couple of years with Daniel Jones and Tommy DeVito, and just kind of having a real identity crisis when it came to the quarterback situation. So either way, those 2 are an upgrade to that situation. And that's not to say that they're going to draft a quarterback as well. So that'll remain to be seen. And then I'd say that I'd say the Eagles honestly pulled out better than the Cowboys. Adding A.J. Dillon just gives Saquon more rest and can keep the game going, and overall just keeps that offense just as high power as ever. And the Cowboys in last place, they really didn't do any favors for themselves except signing Fowler, which just upgrades their defensive line just a little bit. And really no other notable aspects that was added to that team as a whole. All right, thanks guys for watching this video. Please like and comment and let me know your thoughts below, and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with everything NFL and everything college football. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and remember guys, tighten up.